Have you ever felt that life has become, I don't know, a bit too predictable?
Hmm.
Maybe you feel like you're stuck in a rut, personally or professionally, and you've wondered if there was a way to unlock something new, something more engaging, maybe a different path forward.
Yeah, that feeling of just routine.
Exactly. What if the key to truly thriving, to accessing new possibilities, lies in two forces that, well, on the surface seem simple, yet are profoundly powerful? Calculated surprises and thoughtful adaptation.
Ah, interesting pairing.
Today on the Deep Dive, we're plunging into the art of growth, how calculated surprises and thoughtful adaptation shape our lives.
Sounds great.
Our mission in this deep dive is to unpack a stack of fascinating insights from truly astute thinkers like Robert Greene and Ryan Holiday, alongside, a rich collection of timeless wisdom that spans psychology, philosophy, and real-world application.
Right.
We want to show you how actively embracing the unexpected and being willing to change deeply and genuinely can lead to profound personal and even societal transformation.
It's really about moving beyond just going through the motions.
Yes, it's about moving from simply existing to truly evolving, to living a life that feels more vibrant, more influential, and more connected.
Indeed. What we've curated here is a collection of wisdom that really delves into the human condition. It's a mix of deep psychological observations, compelling real-world anecdotes, and succinct, powerful principles.
Okay.
At its heart, this material suggests that the human experience is profoundly shaped by two fundamental aspects of our nature: our innate love for the unexpected, that spark of curiosity that drives us, and our incredible, often untapped capacity for meaningful, deep-seated change.
That capacity we sometimes forget we have.
Exactly. We'll explore how these two forces, often considered in isolation, actually work in concert, creating a potent blueprint not just for more engaging personal lives, but for more effective leadership, stronger relationships, and perhaps even a more just world.
So let's really unpack this.
What's truly fascinating here is how seemingly disparate ideas, from maintaining influence to driving social progress, converge. They reveal a deeper, unified truth about how we grow, how we connect, and how we shape our impact on the world. It's a holistic view of human dynamics, really.
Okay, let's start with what feels like a fundamental, almost primal human impulse.
Yeah.
Our universal response to surprise and the powerful allure of being led into the unknown.
Right.
Robert Greene, who's known for his insights into human nature and power dynamics, begins his observation on calculated surprises with this incredible, almost counterintuitive point about children.
Oh, yes, the children example. It's powerful.
He highlights how a child, who can often be the most willful, stubborn creature, deliberately doing the opposite of what you ask,
We've all seen that.
completely changes when you promise them a surprise. What is it about that promise that just disarms them so utterly?
It's a profound psychological observation, isn't it? Their usual willfulness, their resistance, it's completely suspended.
Just gone.
Think about it. You tell a child you have a present hidden in a box, or maybe a game with an unforeseeable ending, or that you're embarking on a journey with an unknown destination, or even just telling a suspenseful story with a surprise finish. In those moments, Greene observes their willpower, their defenses, they're suspended.
Yeah.
They are, in his words, in your thrall, for as long as you dangle possibility before them.
Wow. In your thrall.
And this isn't just a cute anecdotal observation about kids. It reveals a deeply embedded psychological mechanism in all of us. It's the elemental pleasure induced by anticipation. We are wired, fundamentally wired, to lean in when something unexpected is coming.
Absolutely. And this childish habit, as Greene puts it, it's buried deep within us, and it's the source of an elemental human pleasure.
Yes.
Being led by a person who knows where they're going and who takes us on a journey. It's that exhilarating sense of wonder, that desire to see what comes next, to be guided through the unknown with someone you trust.
It's a kind of surrender, isn't it?
It is. A willing submission to an experience, not a negative loss of control.
Precisely. The question then becomes, why do we crave this feeling of being led? I think it connects deeply to our innate need for narrative, for meaning, for excitement in life.
We need stories.
We are, at our core, story-craving beings. We want to know what happens next. When someone consciously creates genuine suspense and unpredictability, they essentially become a masterful storyteller.
Right.
And we, as the audience, become eager, willing participants in their narrative. Our defenses drop, our curiosity is piqued, and we allow ourselves to be taken along for the ride.
It's a powerful, almost irresistible form of engagement.
It really is, because it taps into that very human desire for novelty and discovery. Our brains, they're literally rewarded with dopamine when we encounter novel stimuli. Surprise feels good, biologically.
And this leads right into Green's crucial point about what he calls the spell of unpredictability. He states it quite bluntly: the moment people feel they know what to expect from you, your spell on them is broken. More, you have ceded them power.
That's a stark, almost chilling warning, isn't it? The moment you become utterly predictable, your influence, your ability to captivate and lead just starts to erode.
It's absolutely critical. When that element of mystery, of the unexpected, is gone, engagement wanes dramatically. Sometimes it just evaporates completely.
Yeah.
And this principle isn't confined to the realm of personal relationships or, seduction, as Green often explores. It applies to virtually all dynamic human interactions.
Like in leadership.
Definitely. Think about a business leader who always follows the same playbook. Their team can become disengaged, even cynical, because there's no perceived room for innovation or deviation.
Right, they know the script.
Or if a teacher always uses the same methods, students can tune out, anticipating every step. In a creative field, predictability can lead to artistic stagnation. The moment your patterns are deciphered, your leverage diminishes. People stop paying close attention. Right. A lack of unpredictability can very quickly lead to boredom, to that feeling of being taken for granted. You stop paying attention because you think you already know what's coming.
Or worse, yeah.
Or worse, you start to resent the lack of dynamism. It makes maintaining interest and connection, especially in long-term relationships or projects, or even a brand's relationship with its audience, a real challenge.
Absolutely.
Green emphasizes the idea of consistently being one step ahead and in control, which, paradoxically, gives others a delightful sense of spontaneity.
It's a paradox, but it makes sense.
It's about carefully orchestrating novelty, not chaos. Creating planned spontaneity, if that makes sense.
Yes, and that brings us to the concept of calculated surprises. This isn't about random acts of chaos or being erratic just for the sake of it. That would actually be off-putting and build distrust.
Right, you'd seem unreliable.
Exactly. Green defines them as deliberate, thoughtful actions designed to maintain tension and suspense, keeping others wonderfully off balance, always wondering, what are you up to? The goal is strategic unpredictability. A kind of artful dance where you lead without revealing your next move too soon, keeping curiosity perpetually piqued. It's about intentional disruption of expected patterns to re-engage people.
So it's not about being flaky or unreliable, but about being intentionally dynamic and, strategically intriguing.
That's a good way to put it.
Green offers some examples. Sending a message out of the blue, showing up unexpectedly, taking them to a place they have never been. How do these actions keep people, as he phrases it, lured further into your web? What's the psychological mechanism at play there?
It's fundamentally about generating curiosity and a genuine desire to see what comes next, to understand the deeper purpose or outcome. These aren't just random acts. They're designed to foster a dynamic, evolving interaction to create a sense of ongoing discovery.
Okay.
When you send a message out of the blue, you break a routine. You signal a potential shift or a new piece of information. Showing up unexpectedly can create a delightful sense of serendipity, maybe intimacy.
Little spark.
Taking someone to a new place opens up new experiences and shared memories, associating you with novelty and, hopefully, positive sensation. They keep the relationship or interaction alive and prevent it from becoming stagnant.
Because you become a source of continuous intrigue.
Precisely. A constant potential for something fresh and stimulating. It forces people to remain engaged with you because their mental models of you are constantly being updated and challenged. They can't just put you in a box.
Here's where it gets really interesting and perhaps most powerful. Green highlights that best of all are surprises that reveal something new about your character.
Ah, yes, this is key.
This isn't just about a change of scenery or a sudden gift. It's about peeling back a layer and revealing a previously unseen facet of who you are, something that genuinely shifts perception.
Exactly. Why are these the most effective? Because they deepen relationships in a profound way. They add complexity to how others perceive you, preventing stagnation in the interaction.
Can you give an example?
Sure. If you're known for being very rational, very logical, maybe a moment of unexpected vulnerability or a sudden display of artistic passion could be incredibly surprising and disarming.
Okay.
Or, if you're typically serious, a certain burst of self-deprecating humor.
Yeah.
This isn't manipulation in a negative sense where you're trying to trick someone into thinking you're something you're not.
Right. It has to be authentic.
It has to be. Instead, it's a genuine revelation of authentic, perhaps previously unrevealed facets of your personality, your capabilities, or your values. It keeps interactions dynamic and engaging because the other person feels like they're continually learning about you, that there's always more to discover, always another layer to peel back. It maintains that vital tension, that delicious sense of what comes next that keeps us deeply engaged. It tells them you're a multidimensional person, not a static character.
That's a fantastic segue, actually, because this idea of revealing previously unseen facets of ourselves through surprise, it leads us directly to Ryan Holiday's powerful insights on thoughtful adaptation.
Yes, the other side of the coin.
His example of Jennifer Doudna's father, the English professor, shows us how profound these shifts can be, not just for an individual, but for society at large. Let's talk about his truly revealing realization.
This is such a powerful anecdote, and it illustrates perfectly how genuine insight can drive significant change. Jennifer Doudna, who, as we know, went on to win a Nobel Prize for her foundational work on CRISPR gene editing technology.
Incredible work.
Had a father who was an English professor, and he experienced this crucial, almost blinding revelation. It wasn't until he had a young daughter that he suddenly realized that almost all the books he assigned to his students were written by men.
Think about that initial blind spot. Here's an educated, presumably thoughtful man.
Right.
Completely unaware of this significant gender imbalance in his own curriculum for years, maybe decades.
It happens so easily, those blind spots.
And the catalyst for change, the moment that made him see it so clearly, was incredibly personal. Simply having a daughter. It fundamentally shifted his perspective.
Suddenly it wasn't abstract anymore.
Exactly. He then understood how acutely unfair this was, how this deprived his students of valuable perspectives and inspiration. This wasn't a superficial observation. It was a deep recognition of systemic bias and missed opportunities in his teaching. A realization that his curriculum was incomplete, limiting.
And his response was quiet, but incredibly profound. Walter Isaacson, in his biography of Jennifer Doudna, notes that her father didn't make a grand announcement or some big political statement.
No fanfare.
No. He simply, yet powerfully, quietly, added Doris Lessing and Tyler and Joan Didion to his syllabus. And significantly, he didn't just change his teaching. He also started bringing books home to his daughter that might inspire her too.
Ah, that's lovely.
This was a genuine internal shift, a true adaptation of his worldview that led to tangible, positive action, a quiet correction.
This is where Holiday's distinction is so crucial. He emphasizes that the father adjusted not out of political correctness, but out of real empathy.
That's a critical point, isn't it?
It really is. It wasn't about bowing to external pressure or adhering to some passing trend. It was rooted in genuine understanding and care for his students and, by extension, his own daughter's future.
It truly is. His adjustment stemmed from a deep moral courage, I think. A desire to provide the richest, most comprehensive educational experience possible for all his students.
Right.
He recognized his role required him to acknowledge perspectives he had previously overlooked, to fill a significant gap. And Holiday directly addresses the common fears or criticisms that could arise around such changes.
Yeah, the pushback.
By asking, did he lose his spine or his manhood? Did censorship win? And the emphatic answer is no. His choice, made from a place of integrity and a desire for inclusion, made the world better.
Simply put,
it wasn't about compromising his values or losing something. It was about expanding his understanding, enriching his curriculum, and ultimately making more just contribution. It was growth, not capitulation.
And the ripple effect of that seemingly small, quiet adjustment is truly astounding. Connect the dots for us from that classroom in Hawaii to global impact.
It's incredible. The story takes an almost unbelievable turn. From a seemingly simple curriculum change by an English professor, an act born of empathy and quiet adaptation.
Just adding a few books.
We trace a direct line to his daughter, Jennifer Doudna, winning a Nobel Prize for her foundational work on CRISPR gene editing technology.
Wow.
And her research, in turn, was not just theoretical. It had profound real-world applications. It contributed directly to the development of mRNA vaccines that saved countless lives during the COVID-19 pandemic, and continues to offer hope for treating genetic diseases.
That's truly mind-blowing when you consider the scale. An English professor's syllabus adjustment rooted in personal empathy and a willingness to adapt his long-held practices, contributes directly to a Nobel Prize-winning scientific breakthrough and global health benefits decades later.
That's almost poetic, isn't it?
It really is. It's an incredible illustration of how seemingly small shifts, made thoughtfully and with genuine intention, can have exponential returns for society. It really challenges us, you, the listener, to consider our own daily actions, our own implicit biases, and the potential for these far-reaching, unforeseen ripple effects in our own spheres of influence.
Absolutely. Imagine the future impact of a seemingly minor adjustment you make today.
Yeah.
This connection powerfully illustrates how small acts of justice and inclusion can have far-reaching, even revolutionary consequences. It underscores the idea that individual acts of thoughtful adaptation, when rooted in empathy and courage, can, over time, transform the world in unforeseen ways, creating a legacy far beyond the immediate context. And that brings us to Holiday's concluding message, which feels like a direct and urgent call to action. Don't be frozen in time. Don't close your mind. Be open and adjust.
Powerful words.
This emphasizes the dynamic, ever-evolving nature of growth. Stagnation is, in fact, the very opposite of growth. It's a slow decay, really.
Yeah.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this story is a powerful testament not just to the impact of open-mindedness and empathetic leadership, but to the idea that adaptation isn't just about survival.
It's more proactive than that.
Exactly. It's about actively participating in shaping a better future. It's about leveraging our capacity for change to create a world that is more inclusive, more just, and more capable of addressing complex challenges. The professor didn't set out to save the world, but his small act contributed significantly to it.
So we've talked about the psychology of surprise and maintaining influence from Robert Greene. And then the profound power of thoughtful adaptation and its ripple effects, beautifully illustrated by Ryan Holiday. It feels like time to connect these dots because they're not separate concepts at all, are they?
Not at all.
In fact, they're deeply complementary forces, maybe two sides of the same coin when it comes to living a dynamic and impactful life.
Precisely. Calculated surprises and thoughtful adaptation are not separate concepts, but complementary aspects of a more comprehensive approach to life and influence. Both require us to move beyond rigid patterns and embrace the unknown.
How so?
Well, think about it. The English professor adjusting his syllabus was, in a sense, creating a calculated surprise for his students.
Ah, interesting take.
He was introducing new voices, new perspectives, new literary experiences they might never have encountered. He was breaking their predictable academic rhythm and expanding their horizons in a genuinely surprising way.
Right. It wasn't just adaptation, it created novelty for them.
Exactly. And conversely, creating suspense and using unpredictability effectively, as Greene suggests, requires constant adaptation and growth on our part.
You can't just keep doing the same surprise.
No. You can't just be randomly surprising. You have to adapt to the reactions you get, to the changing dynamics of the relationship or situation, to keep that sense of intrigue alive and positive. One cannot effectively surprise others in a way that builds connection and influence without a willingness to adapt your approach based on feedback.
Makes sense.
And true adaptation, by its very nature, often presents new, surprising facets of ourselves or our approach to the world. You learn something new, you change, and suddenly you can act in ways that surprise even yourself, let alone others.
So it absolutely creates a dynamic feedback loop, a kind of cycle of growth.
A beautiful cycle of growth. The more we adapt, whether it's our knowledge base, our habits, our perspectives, the more capacity we build for surprising ourselves with new capabilities and insights, and for authentically surprising others with our evolving nature. We discover new abilities, new perspectives.
And the surprises push us to adapt more.
And conversely, the more we choose to strategically surprise, the more we're compelled to adapt to the new responses, the new dynamics, the new challenges we've created. It keeps us in a perpetual state of continuous evolution, preventing stagnation and fostering deeper engagement. This continuous interplay is what makes growth dynamic and sustainable.
And this entire process, this embracing of the unexpected and the willingness to change, it requires something fundamental and often challenging: courage.
Yes, courage is central.
James Parton's profound observation that desperate courage makes one a majority connects directly to both of these principles, illuminating the inner strength required.
It takes immense, often quiet courage to surprise others authentically. Genuine surprise requires a degree of vulnerability and risk.
What kind of risk?
Well, the risk of being misunderstood, the risk of the surprise not landing as intended, or simply the discomfort of stepping outside expected norms. You're intentionally stepping outside of predictable behavior, and that can feel exposing, even isolating if you're the first to do so.
Yeah, stepping out of line can be scary.
And similarly, it takes profound courage to truly adapt our beliefs and practices when we recognize they need to change. This means challenging ingrained habits, deeply held biases, or comfortable routines that have served us, or we thought served us, for a long time.
It's hard to let go of old ways.
It can be uncomfortable, even painful, to dismantle old frameworks and build new ones. It takes real guts.
That fear of change, that fear of the unknown, that fear of standing out or being wrong, it's a powerful inhibitor for so many of us.
It really is. But courage, as Parton suggests, allows us to step outside our comfort zones and embrace uncertainty. It's about being willing to stand alone or even against established norms if it means genuine growth, a truly positive impact, or a more authentic expression of self.
Like the professor.
Exactly. The English professor, Jennifer Doudna's father, epitomizes this quiet yet profound courage. He just quietly made a change because he knew it was the right thing to do, regardless of what anyone else might have thought or expected. He demonstrated that one person's courage can indeed create a majority in effect, or at least initiate necessary change.
So what does this all mean for you listening? It means that growth isn't just about learning more facts or acquiring more skills. It's about cultivating the courage to interact with the world and with yourself in new, adaptable ways. It's about being willing to show up differently, to shed old skin and embrace new possibilities. It's a continuous, dynamic process, not a destination.
And to deepen our understanding of how to apply these powerful principles in our lives, our source material also includes some fantastic supporting pillars of wisdom, little nuggets that help build the foundation.
Okay, like what?
Let's delve into authenticity and trustworthiness first, a concept brought forward by Simon Sinek.
Sinek. Yes, he insightfully says, being right doesn't make us trustworthy. Being honest makes us trustworthy.
Such a great line.
It really underlines the absolute importance of grounding both surprise and adaptation in authenticity. The goal isn't manipulation or deception.
Right, not the negative kind.
Not in the negative sense often associated with seduction or trickery. Instead, it's about revealing genuine aspects of ourselves and growing in response to new, honest understanding.
So an authentic surprise is a revelation, a genuine insight into your evolving self, not a trick.
And an authentic adaptation
is a genuine evolution, a sincere shift based on real learning, not a feigned shift just to please others or gain some advantage. It comes from within.
Exactly. This distinction is fundamental for building long-term trust and truly deeper, more resilient connections.
Absolutely. If your surprises feel inauthentic, like a performance or a calculated ploy,
people pick up on that.
They do. Or if your adaptations come across as insincere or opportunistic, they will eventually break that spell Green talks about, or erode trust completely. They prove far less effective in the long run.
Because people have an innate ability to sense a lack of integrity.
I think so. And that undoes any positive impact you might have hoped for. True authenticity ensures that your dynamism and evolution are perceived as genuine growth, not as superficial shifts. It makes your actions sustainable and your influence lasting.
Then there's the incredible power of humor. I love this one. Moshe Waldock's observation is a brilliant and often overlooked addition to this discussion.
It really is.
He says, a sense of humor can help you overlook the unattractive, tolerate the unpleasant, cope with the unexpected, and smile through the unbearable.
Wow. That covers a lot.
When you think about navigating the inherent challenges in growth and change, humor isn't just a pleasant diversion. It's an essential coping mechanism and a powerful tool, isn't it?
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Both surprising others and adapting to new circumstances can be awkward, challenging, maybe even frustrating.
Things go wrong sometimes.
Exactly. You might misstep, or the unexpected outcome might not be what you envisioned. Sometimes the new path you adapt to is uncomfortable, or the revelations about yourself or others are not always easy to digest. Humor provides lightness, perspective, and incredible resilience in these moments.
It helps us not take ourselves too seriously.
Precisely. Especially when we make mistakes or encounter those unexpected outcomes that inevitably arise when you step outside the predictable. It's a pressure release valve, a way to keep perspective.
And how does humor specifically aid in the art of surprising others and in facilitating adaptation?
Well, when it comes to surprise, humor can soften the unexpected, make it more palatable, or simply enhance the delight of the surprise itself.
Right. A funny surprise feels different.
Totally. Imagine a whimsical, funny surprise versus a serious, intense one-planey. Humor makes the unpredictable feel less threatening and more engaging. It fosters a sense of shared playfulness. It signals a certain ease and openness, making people more receptive to what you're doing.
And for adaptation.
For adaptation, humor helps us let go of rigid expectations. It allows us to laugh at our own folly when we realize we've been clinging to an outdated idea, maybe.
Yeah, laugh at ourselves.
Or to find common ground with those whose perspectives are different from our own. It's harder to be rigid or defensive when you're sharing a laugh. It's a tool for emotional flexibility, which is crucial for genuine adaptation.
That makes a lot of sense. Finally, we have these powerful athletic metaphors woven into our sources.
Ah, yes, the sports analogies.
You can only build strength through challenge, prioritize form, and the timeless wisdom that the carrot is mightier than the stick. These relate directly to the journey of growth, don't they? Applying equally to mental, emotional, and social muscles as they do to physical ones.
They do, profoundly. Growth isn't easy. It's not a passive state where things just happen to you. It explicitly requires consistent effort and positive motivation.
You have to work at it.
Like athletes pushing past their comfort zones, we build strength by tackling challenges, by embracing what feels difficult or new. And just as an athlete needs to constantly adjust their training based on progress and feedback, that's the adaptation part.
Right.
They must always maintain fundamental principles, which is prioritizing form. You can't just train harder. You must train smarter, with good technique, ensuring your efforts are productive and sustainable. Otherwise, you burn out or get injured.
And the carrot is mightier than the stick. What does that mean for cultivating surprise and adaptation in our lives? It speaks to motivation, doesn't it?
It speaks to the kind of motivation that leads to sustained, authentic growth. It means that positive reinforcement, internal motivation, having a clear, compelling vision of growth, that's far more powerful as a driver than external pressure or fear of punishment or guilt.
So connect that to surprise and adaptation.
Well, when it comes to the art of surprise, it requires skill and practice, the form, if you will, to execute well, to make them genuinely impactful and positive. And adapting to new information or circumstances is fundamentally a challenge that explicitly builds mental and emotional strength, resilience, and wisdom.
Okay.
Both of these processes, surprising others and truly adapting, are best motivated by the positive outcomes and the intrinsic satisfaction they bring, by the genuine sense of progress and fulfillment rather than by external demands or fear of failure. It's about self-direction and the joy of becoming more, not just avoiding pain.
So we've covered these incredible insights from Robert Greene's calculated surprises and that deep human pleasure of being led, to Ryan Holiday's powerful example of thoughtful adaptation stemming from empathy, all underscored by foundational wisdom on courage, authenticity, humor, and discipline.
It's quite a framework.
It is, but understanding these concepts intellectually is just the beginning, right? The real challenge, the exciting part, the transformative part, is integrating them into our daily lives, making them active principles.
Absolutely. This integration requires what we might call adaptive authenticity.
Adaptive authenticity. Okay, break that down.
It's the profound ability to remain true to our core values and who we fundamentally are, our integrity, while simultaneously and continuously evolving and growing in response to new information, changing circumstances, and deeper understanding.
So it's not about being fake or inconsistent?
No, not at all. Or adopting a different persona for every situation. Rather, it's about being genuinely responsive and growing without compromising your integrity. Truly being your most genuine self, but a genuinely evolving self.
Dynamic integrity. I like that.
Yeah, dynamic integrity.
So how might this adaptive authenticity manifest in your own life, you listening right now, in practical, tangible terms? Let's consider a few spheres, because these aren't just abstract concepts.
Good idea.
In your personal relationships, for instance, it might mean finding ways to surprise your loved ones that reveal new depths of your character, keeping things fresh and exciting, adding layers to your connection, while always remaining fundamentally trustworthy and true to your shared history. This could be anything from spontaneously planning a trip, picking up a new hobby you share, or simply sharing a vulnerable truth you hadn't before, opening up a new dimension of intimacy.
And in our professional lives, adaptive authenticity means being willing to critically examine our established practices, our long-held assumptions, maybe even our own leadership styles.
Which takes courage.
It does. It means having the courage to make changes when we recognize clear opportunities for improvement, even if those changes are uncomfortable or challenge the status quo. This isn't just about efficiency or productivity. It's about ethical considerations, fostering inclusivity, striving for genuinely better outcomes that benefit everyone involved, and adapting to new technologies or market realities.
It's the English professor quietly yet powerfully updating his syllabus.
Exactly. Acknowledging a blind spot and making his work more relevant and just.
And on an even broader scale, within our communities or even society at large.
Adaptive authenticity there means having the courage to challenge established patterns, traditions, or systems when they no longer serve the common good, when they exclude or harm, or simply when they're outdated.
Okay.
This requires both the bravery to speak up or act differently, to initiate that calculated surprise of a new idea or approach, and then the deep willingness to adapt to the responses and the new dynamics that this challenge inevitably creates.
So it's a cycle again. Initiate and adapt.
It's a constant, courageous dance between initiating change and then thoughtfully responding to its ripple effects, always with an eye toward genuine improvement and a more equitable future.
Ultimately, the profound message embedded within these interconnected principles seems clear. Growth and positive change are not just possible, but they are essential for a truly fulfilling life, for impactful leadership, and for a thriving society.
Yes, and the source material uses a wonderful tangible analogy for this. It states that the lessons learned in the kitchen are the same as those learned in sport. It starts with quality ingredients and appropriate preparation.
I like that. So what are those quality ingredients for a meaningful life, for that life of adaptive authenticity, based on everything we've explored today?
I think they are courage, empathy, authenticity, and that fundamental, unwavering willingness to grow. Those are the core ingredients.
And the appropriate preparation.
That involves actively cultivating the skills of calculated surprise and thoughtful adaptation. These are the skills that allow us to navigate an uncertain, ever-changing world with both grace and profound purpose. It's about becoming, a master chef of your own life, thoughtfully choosing your ingredients and preparing them with skill and care.
Well put.
In the end, these principles remind us that we are all, every single one of us, both teachers and students, in the ongoing complex experiment of human existence.
Constantly learning, constantly influencing.
Exactly. Our willingness to surprise ourselves and to be surprised by the world around us, and our profound capacity to adapt and to help others adapt, determines not only the quality of our own lives, but the very trajectory of our shared future.
And that story.
The story of the father who courageously changed his syllabus and the daughter who went on to change the world. It just reminds us that small, seemingly insignificant acts of courage and compassion, of thoughtful adaptation, can have consequences far beyond what we could possibly imagine, shaping generations to come.
It's a powerful reminder. So here's a final thought for you to take away. Given everything we've explored today about calculated surprises and thoughtful adaptation, how might a single small adjustment you make today, something rooted in genuine empathy and courage, how might that ripple out? How could it potentially transform not just your own life, but the lives of those you impact in ways you can't yet possibly foresee? Think about that for a moment. How might surprising yourself through adaptation and surprising others authentically redefine your influence and truly deepen your impact on the world around you?